I don't know what the question is.
Yes. Hey, where's this water from?
The water fountain.
The laundromat.
Tastes like this.
Does it?
Yeah, it has a taste to it. It tastes like garbage.
Tastes like laundry soap.
I'm totally.
So, some background on this piece. Basically, for my drawing class, our drawing class is called Drawing Traditions and Innovation. My oil pastel just fell on the ground. And our final project is to take a drawing tradition and innovate on it. So basically, I chose the tradition of Byzantine art, which is like a lot of like mosaics, a lot of gold leaf, a lot of flat color. I'm innovating on it by changing up like what I drew about, because a lot of Byzantine art was like about like religious iconography, and I drew my mother, kind of like referencing Madonna with Child, and talking about like who deserves to be iconicized, relating to like some personal history of my family. Nothing like deep, but you know. And yeah, and I'm gonna like gold leaf it all and like oil pastel it. I just did oil pastel just because it's simpler. It looks really dull in this shot, but like it's actually very bright in person. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on it. Due tomorrow. Okay, so there's just a very loud, rumbly sound. I don't know what that is. Right now, I'm in the studios at Micah, the first year ones, and basically you just sign up, you ask for them, and they change out who they're assigned to every 2 weeks. And I requested to have some time right before finals, and luckily I got a studio space, which is great because I need it for this ginormous project. It is 38 inches by, I think I made it 5 feet. I should have there were little markers on the side here for like how many feet it was. But yeah, I think it's 38 inches by 5 feet, which is very large, to say the least. So yeah, it's gonna take a very long time. I started it Monday night, Sunday night or Monday night. I did it Monday night because I remember I had work the next day. I also didn't go to work on Monday, which was very stupid of me. But it was necessary to do my homework. I haven't spent too much time on this. I just started coloring it today, and I only spent like an hour-ish of consistent work on it for it to get to the point it's at right now. I'm thinking of titling this piece Madonna and Bastards because I'm innovating on the religious stories that were used in ancient Byzantine art. And I saw like a lot of renditions of Madonna with Child, which is like always an inspiring like concept to me, especially in art. And I wanted to adapt on that because we have to innovate. Oh my god, this is breaking. But yeah, we have to innovate on whatever thing we're assigned. And one of the ways I'm innovating on it is the concept that I'm illustrating. Basically, I'm drawing my mother and me and my twin brother as babies. Because me and my brother were technically bastard children. For those that don't know what that means that my mother was unmarried when we were born. And in the Old Testament, in the Bible, bastard children aren't allowed to go to heaven and aren't allowed to like speak to the Lord. And I'm not a super religious person, I just happened to choose a religious topic for my piece. I mainly chose Byzantine art because I enjoy the art style, and they just so happen to do religious pieces. So I was like, okay, well now's the time to explore religion, which is something I have never done. Oh my god, this broke. Oh my god, it just broke again. But I've never explored religion in any of my works before. And so I thought, what better time to do that now than... What better time to do that than now? Clearly, I don't know how to talk. But I decided to just like propose this commentary on who deserves to be an icon. Is my mother, who gave birth to twin bastard children, all on her own, in a way, does she deserve to be an icon to inspire others in the same way that Byzantine artists would make all these renditions of other famous religious figures and their feats to serve as inspiration and ways of connecting with the general populace. So like, does my mother deserve that? And do like me and my brother deserve to be rendered as these holy children despite the Old Testament being so against our existence? And I don't know, I just thought that'd be an interesting thing to tackle. And I chose to work in oil pastel because like throughout my research of Byzantine art. They would do a lot of mosaics. I don't know what they would paint with. Honestly, should have looked that up, but I didn't. So my teacher also suggested that I do oil pastels. So I was like, you don't gotta tell me twice. Because I personally love oil pastels. People that have found out I'm working in oil pastels have had very, not negative viewpoints, but been like, because as one of my friends put it, oil pastels are adult crayons, which I thought was really funny, but I just love oil pastels like so much. So like, I don't mind this at all. One issue I did have was that I didn't think I was gonna have enough of each color, because like they're all super small, and my skin color was like this. And I was like, okay, this and these children and her arms are gonna take a lot more than this. So I went out and bought this set, and my friend gave me this set. So now I have 3 sets. I have like over 52 oil pastels. 25 plus 32. 57 oil pastels. And I'm only gonna use like 5 of them. It's just that like, I needed more of these certain colors. So yeah, that was annoying, but I really like oil pastels. I've always loved like doing stuff with crayons. So adult crayons is like right up my alley. But I haven't really done anything that illustrative this year, and rarely anything with color. I did like one piece for my critical inquiry class that was like a watercolor. I did like one oil pastel drawing during fall break. But yeah, I just have not done that much of it. So it's really nice to return back to, you know, what I would do before. I would only do stuff with color. Like I do my charcoal stuff, but I would, whenever I was like just drawing, I'd do stuff with color, and I would never have the time anymore, because you know, like assignments really suck it out of you. Yeah, so I just chose to do oil pastel for this. I'm gonna gold leaf the background. Never done that before, and my friend said it was super difficult. So we'll see how that goes, but I wanted to do it because all of like Byzantine murals had like gold leaf around them. And they did that to like kind of separate the figure from the background and like make them look like they were popping out. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll see how it goes. But right now, I'm not focusing on the gold leaf. I'm just focusing on doing the oil pastel, because that's definitely gonna take the longest amount of time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how long the gold leaf is gonna take, but it's definitely gonna take less effort to do the gold leaf than to do the oil pastel. And yeah, I'm using a lot of Catholic symbols in my piece, because a lot of Byzantine art was about like using symbolism. That's why their figures looked so simplified with like a lot of flat coloring, was to bring attention to the symbols that they used. And it was also because like when creating works on like religious or holy figures, making them look super specific is going to make it really hard for any random viewer to relate to them. So using simpler images allowed more people to kind of like connect to them and like propose their own sorts of identities onto these figures. So I'm using like palm fronds, which were a representation of victory, to kind of like call my birth of victory, you know, for my mother, for our family. And I'm also using candles. Those meant something. I'll look it up before class tomorrow, but I remember they meant something important in this sense. And yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit of pattern usage, but honestly, like, I don't really have that many opportunities to incorporate it, especially because like the babies are naked. Like if they were wearing clothes, I could incorporate it like fairly easy, but they're not, so. Oh, no, where's my eraser? Okay, I found my really old black eraser. I don't know where my new eraser is, so that's really annoying. Drawing this has definitely been interesting. I was really tempted to make my mother look like my mother, And this kind of looks like her, but honestly, like not really like at all. And like my reasoning for that was to kind of just do, cause like Byzantine artists had a really specific style for how they drew people, especially women. And I had to choose whether or not to make it look like my mother or make it look like Byzantine stylistic art. And I did choose to put my focus on the Byzantine style, just because like that's more integral to the project. If I ever want to do something realistic of my mother, I can. You know, what other opportunity am I going to have to relate my art to Byzantine art, you know? So that's why that took priority. And it's definitely interesting, like trying to do some like flat-ish coloring, because I'm honestly bullshitting a lot of this in terms of like how I'm supposed to flat shade stuff. Women usually weren't like drawn with their hair down, and like I'm honestly too lazy to look up my references right now because like I've already started, but I'm kind of just winging it. Yeah, so far I'm liking it. We'll see how it, well, I think like adding the gold leaf will definitely like make it look a lot better, but also like it might change up some things like the contrast and stuff, so I might have to go back in and like add to it, like add more color and stuff. But we'll see when we get to that spot. It was so difficult drawing my brother. I don't know why, I just like could not draw. Like I thought I was doing so good, and then I stepped back and I was like, wait, this is terrible. It's also really hard like making this oil pastel look smooth due to the texture of the wall. So I'm using up a lot of each pastel. Like this brown is really putting in some work. Like layering definitely helps that, but like when I'm trying to do like the flat shading, like it's hard to build up with one color. Yeah, this hair is confusing, because I just don't really know what to do. Like I don't know how Byzantine artists really drew hair. They would do like the locks kind of, but like also not. I might just end up defining the shapes in her hair. It's definitely been interesting adapting my art to this style. Byzantine artists like had like very narrow faces, very thin, long noses, small lips, and really big eyes. And they're all like very like defining characteristics of the art period, so I'm trying to match them to the best of my abilities. It is hard because analyzing that entire period of art is insane, because like there were a lot of changes within the art style and stuff, so kind of just picking and choosing which aspects I want to highlight. But I'm really like glad I got to like explore a topic or a form of art so heavily, because I feel like it's really connected me with it more, you know, rather than doing like an in-class thing where we're all doing the same thing. It's like, this is mine. This is my form of art, you know, not yours. One of the things I do like about oil pastels is that you can erase them to a certain extent. Oh my god, I just ruined everything. It needs more contrast, I think. I love my life, just like by the way. And I just finished the dress coloring. My hair is really nice right now. And I was so scared I was gonna run out of blue because I had 3 oil pastels of the blue that I was using, of like the specific color I needed. 2 like little skinny ones, like this size. This wasn't the blue I used, but you know, like it was this size of the blue I needed. And then a blue that was this size, so like that much like thicker and like bigger, you know. So I had 3 of that. They're all completely gone, completely used up. And then I had another thick, like one of the larger blues in an off color, and it was a different type of oil pastel that like wouldn't go on the paper that well. That one's half gone. And then I had a darker blue that is also half gone. And the 2 other blues like weren't the right color, so I wouldn't have been able to use them like without the normal color. Like if I layered them, it looked fine. But I was so scared I was gonna run out. Like literally, this is all I have left of the color that I need, like for like small touch-ups. Like this is all I have left. And that dress took me so long. I just want to finish this. Like I'm so ready to finish. Yeah, the dress coloring is not smooth at all. I mean, the top's really nice because I actually wasn't running out then. Then down here, you see it gets really spotty. And it's just gonna have to be like that because I am out of blue. I would like to die because I ran out of gold leaf. And the art store doesn't open until 9 a.m. and I have class at 9 a.m. So I'm gonna have to turn it in incomplete. Our final portfolios aren't due till next week, and we're gonna be having one-on-ones with our teacher at that point. And I think in class today I'm just gonna be like, yo, everyone imagine that it's finished, you know, just like pretend. And then I think I'm gonna finish it this weekend so that I can have it finished for my final portfolio review with my teacher. Just because, you know, I feel really bad about turning in incomplete work. You know, I don't care if my work is shitty, but it's turned in and it's complete. Like, it can be shitty and complete, but incomplete is just shitty. And I'm just organizing my oil pastels right now, but like, it sucks my class isn't gonna get to see it finished, but at least, you know, my teacher will. That's gonna mean something. I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna pass the class because I like did really well in that class, but I do really care about this teacher and like what she thinks of me because she is like one of my better teachers, and I just want to, like, you know, get a good grade and stuff. So we'll see, but I don't know. Right now, I just have to go shower because that's all I have time to do before class because it's 7:30. Last week, I turned in this project unfinished, which was kinda sucky. My teacher definitely knew it was unfinished, and she was all like, clearly didn't manage your time, and I was like, you're right. But I'm going to finish it and turn it in for my final portfolio, because that's what I'm doing instead of a final, or that's what my class is doing, where I'm meeting with our teacher one-on-one and bringing in all of our work and going over it with her. So I'm fixing it up. I fixed a bunch of little things, and then I'm gonna finish the gold leaf and then I'll be done. But yeah, it kind of sucked that I couldn't turn it in finished, but I also am glad that I'm going back and revisiting it, because I am finding a lot of other things that I didn't notice before that I wanted to fix. So overall, I'm okay. I'm good. One thing I wouldn't have fixed before is the plants. So see, I turned it in like this and I was like, this is good. But now I'm going back and redefining them. It's hard to get a good shot, but that kind of shows the difference. My coloring is supposed to be fairly flat, but my teacher said that defining the background shapes would add a lot of dimensionality, and I definitely agree. So I'm glad that I'm going back and doing this. So I am done for the night. It's like mostly covered in gold leaf, which is good. A lot of the edges are like loose because as it dries, like it'll come off around like where I painted the glue, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow and work on it. There's a lot of little holes that need to be patched up, like that whole section, but it's mainly covered, and I don't know if it will ever be perfectly covered because there's so many little holes, and like cutting up the gold leaf is difficult, but it's looking good. I think it's just like a lot of the edges are really messed up right now, so I think it'll look better when I finish it, and I have all of tomorrow to do it, so I'm doing good. And now it is bedtime.